Hello, this is Julie, HR, and I wanted to share this end of the week HR checklist. And I wanted to share it with you actually today. So, number one, today is Friday and it is the end of the week. And this is a checklist I personally put together over the period of the past, 15, 20 years. I would, add a different, line item to it. But it helped me at the end of the week to just sit for an hour or, an hour and a half and just go through these items and make sure that all my I's were crossed and T's were crossed and I's were dotted before I left my office on that Friday. So I started off with benefits and compensation. Now, a lot of these items are probably pretty much already automated. People are already doing them. But when you think about benefits and compensation, you're talking about people and you're talking about their money and you're talking about their health insurance. You want to make sure everything gets paid. You want to make sure everybody's enrolled. You want to make sure your subordinates have gotten the paperwork to maybe your benefits broker or your benefits provider to input the people, or however it works within your company. So I started off with all benefit bills and HR related invoices have been reconciled and submitted. So bam, get those benefit bills and invoices off your desk and into that into the accounts payable office. Then take a look at all eligible employees, make sure they've been enrolled in the 401k plan. I'm sure that's probably pretty much already scheduled. If you have a large company, but I know some companies, they actually physically have to do it. So if you're physically having to do it or one of your subordinates is, make sure they've done it. You don't, because when 401k audit time comes around, you want to make sure you are good to go. Make sure all the eligible employees are enrolled in the health plan. Usually it's the first of the month or the second of the month. First of the month following 30 days of employment. Just make sure they're in, or make sure they are scheduled to be in or whatnot. Review any discrepancies in payroll or compensation reports. And then you just may want to make a note about, just in general, the cost effectiveness of the current benefit plans. Sometimes you try to think back to the feedback, what you've received on what employees have said regarding, various benefit plans. And maybe week by week, just say, okay, I remember on Tuesday, Sally said that she loved the new prescription plan. Write it down. Just write it down. Okay, employee relations, check for any open issues with managers or ongoing employee disputes. Hopefully you're someone who is able to just knock that out pretty quick. You don't want to have anything lingering over anybody. You don't want there to be like any open issues going on. So if there is an open issue, make sure you loop back around with the manager or employee and say, hey, listen, we're going to be working on this next week, or, I need to get your signature on that you agreed to this and that. Just make sure all those loops are closed. You can just start brainstorming some employee relation initiatives or events. And this is also a great time with this list to review some reviews and surveys from your recent training program, which perhaps happened on Monday, an orientation program. Or if you have an employee feedback box, you can look and you can see what's in there and you can review that. And also take the time to just say, let's write down some ideas for the employee newsletter. So this is kind of an end of the week. Let's get our ideas out there. Think about safety. Review the monthly safety training date and topic every month. I would hope that you, number one, have a safety committee and that you are talking to your employees on a monthly basis and having a monthly training every month. Safety is so very important. Number two, ensure that the safety committee is on the calendar for the month. Review current week injuries, if any, and ensure all documentation has been turned over to the workers' comp. You may even just want to do a double check. Say, hey, workers' comp carrier, are we good to go? Do you have everything? Maybe just do a double check. It never hurts. Evaluate the effectiveness of the current wellness programs. This is just another thing to write down. Maybe put a little note right here that says, exercise plan is going great, lots of participation, consider doing it next quarter. As we go on to talent acquisition and recruitment, it's really good to stay on top of what jobs are open, what jobs are, what have closed. It's a good idea to follow up on any pending offers and onboarding schedules for new hires. You want to evaluate the effectiveness of the onboarding process for recent hires. Like I said, I'm sure there was probably a survey if there was a recent onboarding process. Like I said, take the time on the Friday to review the survey that the new employee filled out regarding his or her onboarding experience. Like I said, data drives decisions. So with that being said, analyze recruitment metrics and adjust strategies as needed. Look at your time to fill, and also maybe your yield ratios. I've got a couple of KPI documents on my Etsy page for you to look at and purchase. You want to stay on top of those recruitment metrics. You may be wasting your time in a particular area. Only the data will tell the true history. The true background of what's really going on with that recruiting position. Coordinate with hiring managers about future recruitment needs. Let's say you ran into one of the managers in the hall and you just remember, Mr. Johnson said he needed to hire a maintenance mechanic because there was another mechanic that left or put his 2-week notice in. That could be a good time for you to send an email to that particular manager and say, hey, let's touch base next week and get a plan going on how we're going to go about recruiting for this position. Training and development. And I know this seems like a lot, but don't feel like you have to go through every single thing or all of it, but just make sure that you do actually go through it and ensure that you actually know in your mind where everything is. You've got a handle on it, and there'll be no surprises on Monday. So make this something. Maybe you start on Friday morning, just taking a look at one section and then another section, maybe on your lunch break. It's just a great way to end your week. And, you walk into the weekend feeling good about, hey, I know that I've gotten everything done that I need to have gotten done this past week. And I can go into Monday, hit the ground running. Okay, so training and development, review and update the training calendar, jot down training needs for the upcoming quarter, touch base with those who are conducting or attending training next week. You want to firm those things up. Hey, do we have the room? Hey, do we have the projector or whatever? Hey, has everybody signed up? Just make sure everything is organized to a T. Compliance. You want to review the compliance calendar. I've got a compliance calendar on my Etsy site. It is orange and blue, and you cannot miss it. It's got a lot of compliance dates as far as, turning in particular reports. So review that compliance calendar, review the compliance calendar, that SHRM has or other particular HR vendors. Review sites concerning new laws or regulations coming down the pipeline. Update the handbook with new policies. You may just want to update it, maybe not just go ahead and update it. So at the end of the year, you don't have to really worry about updating everything with the new policies. I know at the end of the year, you really want to update everything, but if you can go ahead and get on that at that time, that'd be great. You've been at your desk all week. It's kind of nice to have this little one right here. Ensure employee folders and other essential items are returned to their original space, and all cabinets are locked and secured. Everybody wants a paperless office, but guess what? In HR, I don't think that exists or will ever exist. And, sometimes people don't really want it to exist because there's something about having paper in hand. It's just something that's always going to be there for some people. Make sure that they're, the cabinets, they've got the employee files, get those employee files off of your desk, workers' compensation files into the right floor, that I-9 that just got filled out, put it in that separate folder from the employees folder. Do not put it in the employees folder. Just make sure everything is squared away and things don't get into, folders and you're like, oh no, where did it go? And then make sure all the cabinets are locked and secured. Communications and meetings, go ahead and start, getting your mind thinking about, okay, mark the emails that were of high importance, but you didn't respond to, immediately because you needed to maybe talk to your attorney or something like that. You want to go ahead and start, the agendas for your one-on-ones. If you have a lot of subordinates, it's probably not going to be an every week thing. Your time is very limited. But if you only have like 2 or whatnot, definitely make sure that you sit with them and make sure that you go ahead and have their, you kind of start on their agenda about what you want to talk with or what you want to follow up with them on. Begin compiling updates to provide to your supervisor. That'd be a great time. If you meet with your supervisor on, Monday, say, okay, well, if you meet up with them on Monday, go ahead and start just jotting down on things that have happened, during the week. And this checklist is going to help you, put together some things that he or she will need to know on their particular updates. Look at the calendar and ensure that the HR calendar reflects events accurately. Prepare any briefing materials for any executive meetings. And once again, made some areas to where you can review calendars, meetings, trainings, projects, dues for the week. Put some key priorities. You make sure you set some time for yourself to do some strategic work and project work. I know in an HR person's life, everything is very tactical. You don't really have time to think strategy, big picture, but you need that time to, that is your job. If you're that HR director or you're up there, it's up to you. You've got to be able to do it. You've got to make that time. So set some time to be strategic and think about the future. You've got to anticipate. Set some time apart for yourself for some personal development and learning. Maybe if it's just like online or whatnot, that's always great. Here's a little area where you can put down your successes for the week. What were your challenges, areas of improvement, and key learnings for reference? And I'll tell you what, this checklist has been so incredibly valuable for me. It makes me feel good when I walk out of the office and I walk in on Monday and I know where I am, where I stand with every facet of the HR function that is underneath me. I know that if you actually utilize this, it will make you a more productive HR director and will provide immense value to your organization as you are being that individual who is on top of things and you are forward looking and you are making sure all the bases are covered. So with that being said, I hope everyone has a great weekend. And if you get a chance, go to my Etsy site and purchase this end of the week HR checklist. And also, number one, this is Julie HR. So I say don't forget to subscribe. So please subscribe to my channel, and I'll keep making videos. Thanks so much.